Hello Internet, how are you all doing? This is RWBY Reviews, and now we're finally at the halfway point of Volume 5. It's certainly been a blast, hasn't it, Lakana?
In the same manner that a hand grenade to the face is a blast. Yeah, it's been fun.
The show has been getting more and more interesting, as well as doing fairly well with story and character. Not so much with the fighting, but considering the last episode, that may change.
Cause last time it ended with Cinder in the game arriving at the Bronwyn camp looking for Raven, and a little annoyed that the doorman ain't letting them in. However, they weren't the only ones not happy, as the gang aren't pleased to hear that Ozpin's been keeping secrets. The headmaster has had some good reasons though, playing things close to the chest and not exactly sure who he can trust. For while Crow and some of the kids are on his side, Raven wasn't, and even Yang seems suspicious of the ghost in the shell. Which is an odd turn of events considering how happy everyone was beforehand, laughing, telling jokes, reminiscing about the old days. Before RWBY became shit. Kinda like how Blake and Sunny Boy were reminiscing of the time back before they had targets on their backs for being traitors to their kind. Yeah, the Bumblebeers aren't exactly the forgiving type. And if you're wondering, boy, that recap seemed short. That's because that's how the episode felt.
Oh well, let's see if they do better with this one. Or if this is just a sign of things to come. Let's find out! Lakana, roll the clip.
Ugh. Halfway through the volume and still don't care. Skip. And we're back with Ruby looking up at what might be her
You're actually.
Yang, don't sneak up on me like that! God damn it!
No, turns out like Red, Yellow, and White also woke up early. After sharing some coffee. Hey, where's the tea? Oh shit, that's right. She's not there. Anyways, they all sit down to
I
chat.
can't believe we're actually in mystery.
Weiss, if you can sit like Yang and Ruby, your legs are blocking my shot.
Pervert.
Well, Yang is amazed, not only by the unbelievable things Oz told them, but by the fact that they are actually a whole world away from home. Weiss, however...
Whoa, petty shot! Oh, cop-outs!
And you wonder why people don't take me seriously.
That's because you're stupid and nitpicky, not because of the real issue we're facing right now.
Anyways, talking about getting serious, Yang of all people ruins the move by bringing up Blake in a "shut up, I'm totally not mad about her" baka. Weiss tries to tell her to
Chill.
Don't tell me to
Chill.
Yang. Whatever.
Well, then we cut to the crybaby looking at a team picture when all of a sudden Weiss of all people walks in. As she sits on the opposite bed, it's clear why she's there, but Yang isn't going to have it. Her mind isn't going to change about Blake.
As she shouldn't.
I'm trying to be somber here, man.
Sorry.
Yang explains that Blake left her, like her stepmother, like her father, like Raven. She was left alone with Ruby that couldn't even understand what all that meant and still doesn't understand how she feels. And now it's happening again. And Weiss too just can't understand that.
When I was 10, my dad finally admitted to my mom that the only reason he married her was for the family name. I think she already knew. Looking back, I think I knew too, but hearing him say it finally pushed her over the edge.
Weiss then goes on saying that at first things were merely tense. Her father and mother eating at opposite sides, the former a bit brash, the latter having a glass of wine. And then there were no more meals, her father becoming callous and a bottle of wine for her mother. But Yang is only half right, for Weiss has her own sadness to burden, and Blake surely does as well. She explains that when the kitty first came to Beacon, her worst fears, the reason why she was so shut off and closed, came true. She opened herself up to others, and then they got hurt.
No one blamed her for anything. If she had just talked to us, she would have known that. How could I be there for her if she doesn't let me? What if I needed her here for me?
Weiss comforts her, telling her that the three of them have become more of a family to her than even her own. And Blake does feel the same. And the best thing that they can do now is be there for her when she returns. And though maybe they're not as close, Weiss will be there for Yang as well.
Is, everything okay?
Yeah, it is.
And speaking of the cat, we find her contemplating in the night, where she discovers a note from Ilya asking to meet with her. So she informs Sun that she has to go deal with something.
Because when the lesbian says she needs that booty, you answer the call.
Well, Blake arrives at the clearly innocent dark alleyway where nothing terrible is going to happen, where Ilya reveals herself unarmed. Blake tries to talk to the SJW, but she forgets the two important things in dealing with those savages. One, you can never reason with them, and two, they always travel in packs.
Ooh, is it just me or is things getting a little hot in here?
Before then explain...
I'm sorry, but while writing this script, I paused it here and I literally raffled at the expression on Blake's face.
I mean, just look at it! It's like she's saying,
Okay, world domination is nice and all, but could you wrap this up and just kill me, loot me, or let me go? I've got shit to do.
And she wonders why we compare her to Grumpy Cat.
Anyways, back with the Warriors of Social Justice for Faunus Lives Matter, Ilya explains that she is done. The humans have pushed too hard, and she is fine with hurting them, even at the expense of the innocent.
I don't like hurting people, but I'll tell you this, it's gotten us results.
Yeah. Look where it's gotten you.
We all have to make sacrifices for the greater good, no matter how much it hurts.
Well, that didn't last long. Ilya then tells Blake that the Belladonnas are like the humans, in the way. And like the humans, they will be removed. At Blake's pleads, trying to remind her of the friendship they once had, Ilya explains that it was worth more to her than Blake realizes. And since she was more interested in Adam then, she can go and meet him in Mistral. As the lunatic lizard leaves with Batman, Spider-Woman and Cancerface tells Blake to march.
Now! Watch!
You okay?
No. You heard, Ilya. My family's in danger.
As they run, Blake tries to reach her parents, but it appears that the Belladonnas are too busy to come to the phone right now. We find Callie pinned down and down to her last gun. Well, I guess it's game over for her.
Get out of my house!
The white thing! Damn, that cougar's got bite!
Is anybody else turned on right now? More than usual, I mean.
And she ain't the only one, as Mufasa here is about to lay a royal smackdown on... Okay, I'm really confused because I'm both aroused and frightened. Just be gentle with me.
And yeah, as you might expect, they ended on that cliffhanger, and I have to say, I am actually looking forward to the next episode. Even though I know the action is going to be as bad as this. But as I've been saying for 3 years now, the show is about the characters. The action is just that nice frosting on top that has gone slightly sour.
But what Miles and Carrie haven't soured is their ability to draw the audience in during these emotional scenes. Now, they're not the best, as some of it is cliche, and certain meanings behind certain words can be left up to debate. However, the rest is executed nearly perfectly, and that's mostly thanks to the voice actors. Barbara Dunkelman and Kara Eberly, two people who have worked for Rooster Teeth for quite some time now and started elsewhere in the company. Who knew one day that they would be some of the most beloved voices in this series? Well, they've certainly proved why they hold that spot simply with this scene.
Well, there's 4 other reasons, but their lawyers did tell me that talking about them directly goes against the restraining order.
And it is fitting that it is Weiss that approaches Yang. Firstly, because she knows Blake more than Ruby, and secondly, it connects back to their re-encounter and how the Ice Queen saw Yang with Raven. She acted in a similar way just now, so Weiss is the one person that can relate to Yang, as even now, Ruby is still too young. And the way the dialogue is written in the scene, deeply mixed with emotion and heart, it's something that we haven't gotten before from Weiss. With Ruby, we had John. With Yang, we had Blake. And with Blake, we've had Sun. But Weiss never got the chance to truly be the one to help another. Through her words, we hear a softness from the princess that we haven't gotten since her time with the other Xiaolong kid. And what makes what she revealed to Yang so much more impactful is that it was already somewhat established back in Volume 4. So suck it, everyone who thought that volume was bad, because through the episodes that we got seeing her interact with her papa, we not only understand what she tells Yang, but we can picture it all too well. It's an interesting connection that the two share. Disappointing parents. But that is where the team came in, and why so many call this a team of sisters. For Weiss explains that that is basically what they are, each filling a role that, as Blake explained in a single word, made them a cohesive whole. And it's through the effectiveness of someone who was so cold as Weiss warming up to someone who was once so warm but now cold that allows Yang to open up to her feelings about Blake and her actions.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not what some of you may think.
Oh, God, you better not.
Sorry to burst the bubble of some particular insect fans out there, but in this episode, Yang herself more or less confirmed that her feelings for Blake aren't of the sensual nature.
Jerry, where's the assassin? I need him now. I don't care if it's his niece's funeral. I need him now. Dipstick's about to ruin my fantasy again.
Now, I've already made it very clear that I don't care which way this relationship goes, so long as they both are done for the character's sake and not the fans, and that it makes sense considering both characters' personalities. Cause, yes, in this episode, Yang herself more or less just clarified that Blake leaving her was just like how her mother left her. Now, unless Yang has an Oedipus complex towards her mother,
which is 100% possible, you don't know.
She just explained that it was the fact that Blake left her, and not that there's some sort of secret love they share. Okay, now I don't want to go down too far in the rabbit hole of hate, so let me wrap it up with this. We are more or less shown and now told that Yang has abandonment issues. Saying it herself, she describes how each person she needed left her, either by their own will or through other circumstances. But with Blake, she could have chosen to stay. Yang did need the cat after losing something in protection of her, and yet she left without even a single goodbye. And the reason I'm bringing up Raven a lot is because this is a very similar event to when Raven left. Whenever familiar relationships were going on between Pimp Daddy and his hoes, Summer was seen as the mommy to Ty's daddy. And after she was taken, Yang needed her real mother to help her take Summer's place. But instead, she was left alone with Ruby. Any young mothers out there in my audience can agree that that is a terrifying place to be. And while Yang isn't a child anymore, the scars haven't left her, and instead were reopened when Blake fled that night. Again, Mrs. Wright is an interesting bundle of fun, being the one that seemed so independent and free, only to find out that it was a shroud that hid her codependent nature and fear of being alone. If I'm lingering a lot on this, it's not because I'm a little smug that I was right about this all along. Definitely not that.
Keep talking. It just gives us more reasons to justify what we will soon do to you.
But before you guys leave, allow me one more touch on the subject before we move on to the real one.
Now, I, as well as many others out there, would like to make it very clear to all you RWBY fakers, we don't care if Blake and Yang end up together, so long as it's done right. This scene could be a possible insight into her true feelings for Blake, and that's alright. But you do have to accept that that is all that it is. A slim possibility at best. As even now, considering this scene and Blake's, the other part of this so-called willing relationship, own relationship with Sun, there is more evidence that this will likely just be a story of two true friends and not lovers.
Which I would expect you idiots to appreciate. I mean, aren't you the ones that keep championing that whole power of friendship shtick? Anyways, let's move on to 2 where there is actual evidence of a romance.
Aw, yeah.
Even though that too is not gonna happen.
Aw, man.
Ilya and Blake. Back in Volume 4, many noted that there seemed to be more to the former's hesitation to hurt the latter, and now, opposite to Yang's revelations, it is confirmed why. And how it played out is wonderful. I keep saying that this is how Adam should have been acting, if maybe less emotional and a little bit more intelligent. The pain that exudes from her is almost sympathy-invoking. True, again, we can't agree that what she's doing is right, or even a smart move, but we can understand why she does it through the agony of her words. And it's done in such little time. Normally that would be a cause for me to dislike the scene, not giving us enough time to enjoy it, but here it works better to be quick as it fits in with the urgency of the moment. And even with so little screen time, they still manage to pack so much in with these well-chosen words. It conveys all the pain Ilya has had to live through, both physically and emotionally. And while Blake clearly can't respond with the same affection, let alone get on board with Ilya's plans, we still see her love for a friend destroyed by hate. And I would just like to take a moment and say that when it comes to the many gay characters that have been introduced in movies and shows alike, it almost always sucks and was a terrible idea. But not here. Here we see the right way to include diversity, by not focusing on it.
And down the rabbit hole we go.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, you LGBTQWT, LOL, WX, Y, and Z idiots. Trying to force it only gets people to hate it. Making it the main aspect turns them into boring characters, and eventually getting it only makes it normal and unspecial. So might as well give up now and just focus on making interesting characters who just so happen to be gay. It's not an important aspect to them. That's how it's done.
I've already stated my opinion on the matter, and it shall not be changed.
But anyways, yes, the way that it is brought up for Ilya was the right way, making it not who she is, but only a small part of her character. Because her character is someone in pain, hurt by a world that seems ignorant to her suffering, and now lashing out in the only way her damaged soul can, by making them feel her pain too, in a desperate attempt to get them to see her pain.
I truly am looking forward to how they're going to conclude this character arc, because I doubt that the fighting is going to be much to look forward to.
It goes without saying now that it doesn't seem like there's anyone in the animation department that has even a touch of Mani's skill. And seeing the head of that department step down, along with several other prominent figures, that's not likely to change anytime soon. But I would have thought that it wouldn't have been that hard to make a firefight look entertaining, since that's basically what Hollywood has been good at for a long time, even with jump cuts. But I guess I was wrong. I mean, Garrus Fisticuffs was kind of fun, and is certainly the only thing that is getting the audience pumped to see more, but seeing Callie and the White Fang plink at each other like this is some sort of JRPG is boring. Like a JRPG. I don't think anyone is asking them to make them jump around like they're frogs in a bouncy house, but give them some movement, or at the very least give them some sense to get behind cover. God, and I didn't think the White Fang could look any more stupid.
Yeah, it's like playing Mass Effect Andromeda again. There are chest-high walls for a reason, you stupid sexy blue alien bitch.
Anyways, while that may be a problem in the future to go alongside the hate comments that I will be getting for ruining the Bumblebee again, I can say that without a shadow of a doubt that I don't care about your dumb fanfiction. Oh, and that I am looking forward to see how many more emotionally filled character scenes they will bring us. Because God knows the fighting's not going to happen.
So till next week, what few of you are still actually here watching, thanks for watching. Don't forget, only those who don't like RWBY don't like my videos, and only those who don't subscribe are haters. Also, don't forget to leave a comment telling me how much of an idiot I am. I'm Ricardo, the Cynical Critic. With me, no movie's sacred, no video's safe, but all deserve a chance. I'll catch you guys next time. Toodles!
God doesn't make the world this way. We do. None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you.
That's it! You're locked in here with me!